Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back finally after weeks to the State of Wrestling address. I am your host, the master manipulator, the shithouse of wrestling that is, of course, Aeron Nix. Joining me, three delectable talents from the professional wrestling world. First of all, the man who puts wood in Bollywood. It's Tanvir Verdi.
Hello.
How's that sweet Canadian pussy treating you, sir?
It's going well. It's
Good
going
man.
well, sir.
Good man. And of course, joining us, the general manager of ACW, not to mention your host, your master of ceremonies for this weekend's festivities at IWE Date with Destiny in Essex. Yes, indeed, it is Adam Wessex.
Thank you very much.
And of course, speaking of IWE, you can't talk about an IWE pre-show. You can't talk about IWE in general without talking about the man who joins me on the blacklists. It is, of course, Frankie T, one half of the IWE Tag Team Champions of Good God Almighty.
Well, that blacklist seems to be getting fucking longer by the minute.
It does, just like my penis, sir. Just like my penis. So we're here to talk about all of the wrestling's news. Unfortunately, there isn't a great deal of news, so we're basically going to hype up shows we're going to be on and ultimately talk about how fantastic Kenny Omega and El Vikingo was, because even I can admit that was fucking tremendous. So we'll start there, shall we? AEW's main event this week on Dynamite was, of course, Kenny Omega versus the wonderful Hijo del Vikingo, who is just fucking ludicrous and made of Matrix-like materials. Yeah. What do we think, boy? We'll start with Adam Wessex, because ultimately he is an AEW super fan and Tony Khan's biggest twink.
Well, the first thing is it shows again what we've been saying for a while, which is Kenny should not be in trios. Kenny is a 1 versus 1 superstar. And that match absolutely proved that point. I think the thing they didn't do is they should be building up Vikingo beforehand. Not everyone knows who he is, and that was a waste opportunity. Give him 2-3 matches beforehand, let people see who he is, let them know how fucking insane the guy is, and you're going to have so much more heat in the good way for when the show goes live. But fuck me, it was amazing. Absolutely incredible. The guy is a mutant. I don't know how he does what he does in the amount of airtime he has. Absolutely loved it. Heartily recommend if you haven't seen it. Even if you hate AEW, you should be watching that match. It is incredible. It's going to get 127 stars from Meltzer.
Absolutely, yeah. Meltzer has completely shot his load already. I'm pretty sure he's finding a vein as we speak. Frankie T, you've seen it, obviously. What did you think, mate, as a stalwart of professional wrestling yourself and a journeyman of British independent wrestling? Did it tickle your fancy?
It did. I'm not a big AEW fan, and I purposely tuned in just for that one match, and I wasn't disappointed. What a showing. What a showing. And Kenny Omega selling as well.
I know, right? It's almost like we had the cleaner back for a day, which was lovely. Tanvir, what do you think about Adam saying that they should have hyped it more? Do you feel like that's something that AEW are guilty of, that WCW-like mentality of, shit, let's get as many great main events out there on TV as we can?
I think instead of a few weeks, I think Adam's right, but I think what would have been better, because this was Bill, as you is maybe show a minute vignette of Vikingo hyping up, of like showing what he can do with the matches he's had with Bandito and the tag match he's done in AAA as well, and maybe just quickly showing the GCW gif that's done the rounds of where he did the 630 through a table on Alex Zane. So I think a bit of a build up. Also, Adam saying about the singles. So this was Kenny's, I think, first singles match in AEW in almost a year and a half, something like that. Yeah. His first singles match since the incredible Will Ospreay match at the beginning of the year. Kenny Omega, absolutely a single star, and it's got me even more excited than I was for the eventual showdown he's going to have with Jeff Cobb for the IWGP United States Championship.
Hot and spicy.
So can I just quickly ask, you say about giving him a couple of matches so people can see who Vikingo is. Who would you have him against?
Well, to be fair, you've got
Ray Phoenix.
If we're going in for any of them,
there's the dream match.
Great as well. You got Bandito. You've got basically, let's keep it to luchadors, because I think it's a type of wrestling that we don't really celebrate enough with them fighting each other. we quite often see a luchador versus a different style of wrestler. We very rarely see luchador versus luchador, and that's where these guys specialize in, right? That's where they really do show what they can do. And I think you can hype it up that way. You could, but obviously it would be a case of he wouldn't be against people who are going to be able to beat Kenny, because you want him to be him versus Kenny to be like, you know, the big end. So it's making sure you don't build it all the way up, and like you can't throw him up against like Mox, for example, because they're all on the same tier. You kind of need to make him go against some other people, so everyone wants to see that big final match.
I would have liked to see Vikingo v Angelico.
I mean, that'd be great. I mean, it's been a long time since we've seen Angelico used properly.
He's actually still at AEW.
He's on Dark.
He's on Dark.
What an absolute waste of an amazing human being.
Angelico, back in Lucha Underground days, he absolutely fucking sold me.
He's got one of the greatest gifts of all time, where it's him running and doing the crossbody from the top of the thing onto everybody. One of my favorite moments in wrestling.
He is basically a man who is made of limbs with a head attached, though, which is a bit weird. But like, it makes so many of the things he do look so much better. Like submissions when you see him stretch out and things like that. Incredible. When he does something, a high flying move, he looks so much bigger, and he's a big unit. He's not broad, but he's really tall. Do you know how tall he is, Tanvir? That seems like the type of crazy knowledge you'd normally pull out.
I don't know how tall Angelico is, but I have met him. And
really?
He's an inch taller than me, 6'4".
6'4".
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of being in a room with Angelico a number of times. I actually have the pleasure of calling him a friend. He's a lovely guy.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, no, we had extensive chats at places like Riptide, and also he was on the show that I did ring crew for Progress, and we were chatting beforehand. And yeah, he's really, really tall, and he's also somebody who's very technically gifted. I think there's a sort of misunderstood narrative about wrestlers that have wrestled in Mexico or know the Lucha Libre style, that all they do is flip around, and that's not actually exclusively true. A lot of them
his grounded submission work is incredible.
Yeah, like he's actually a throwback, and he's said on multiple occasions, like, yeah, I can do all the flippy stuff, but to keep the longevity of my career going, I'm trying to adapt the traditional Lucha Libre technical style into my wrestling. And he's one of those people, maybe that's why he doesn't get as much excitement, because yeah, he probably could do a lot of this stuff, but at the same time, he doesn't want to die or end up like Jack Evans, massively fueled on Peruvian marching powder. So, you know, hi, Jack.
I was just thinking about the reference to not wanting to die after just watching El Hijo de Vikingo. Yeah. Every move he does, you're like, oh, if this goes wrong, he's dead. That's it. Career over.
Yeah, it is terrifying. I look forward to hearing Jim Cornette's review of what is no doubt at least a 3-star match in my book. Phenomenal stuff. Well done. I can hear Meltzer crying 3 stars, like just going for it. No, it was amazing. It really was. So Booker T had an interesting take on a podcast this week. In a brand new interview with Give Me Sport ahead of NXT Stand and Deliver, Booker claimed that this particular trend annoys him more than others, and he isn't opposed to performers losing their jobs for doing it. He quoted, "I guess my pet peeve, the thing that really bugs me more than anything, my hot take is everybody that does the leg slap should be fired." Adam Wessex, what do you think about Booker T saying that people who slap their leg when they do super kicks and strikes with their knees or whatever it might be should be fired?
I think it's a bit brutal, man.
How many people from NXT are losing a job?
About 70%.
Yeah, exactly. And he does the commentary for him. So, Booker, I don't know about your opinion here, buddy.
Frankie T, do you like to slap the thigh?
I do slap the thigh.
What about wrestling?
Yeah.
Well, that's a different story altogether. Talking about my sex life here.
I don't know what one of those is.
Yeah,
you have to explain that to me.
It's a cake.
It's a cake. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. As you can see, wedding cake.
Yeah. So if you look at WWE, right, where, you know, who slaps their thigh in there? Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, your popular characters, even Rey Mysterio to some degree. Are they going to lose their jobs?
They should do.
So.
Amateurs.
Yeah.
Especially the Usos. Get rid of them. They're rubbish.
Jesus Christ.
But it's one of those things, isn't it? When you're taught to do something one way, it's so hard to unlearn it. Like we changed locally how we take front bumps. my brain just farts every time I go back to how I was originally taught it. Like, in the Panic at the Moment, it's so difficult to change that once you've got the muscle memory. And slapping the thigh isn't something people think about. They get into it and they do it. And everyone knows that WWE, you're not supposed to anymore. But beating your own muscle memory is a lot harder than that.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add. I'm not I'm not offended by it in the slightest. Like, I think, to be honest, I've noticed with Booker T, he's kind of falling into the Cornette shock kind of jock commentary where he's just like, I'll just say this because it'll get. I mean, to be fair, it gets him numbers, it gets him a lot of traction. They're always, I mean, this article's talking about him, so I see why he does it. Booker T wasn't exactly the most old school traditional wrestler in his time either. In his heyday, like, he was doing a lot of stuff that would be considered edgy or a bit different. He was very athletic. His stuff with Harlem Heat was quite revolutionary. So I think he might just be engaging in hyperbole for the sake of the wrestling audience because he knows how easily triggered marks are, especially on Wednesday nights. So it is what it is. How many stars do you think Booker T is going to give Kenny Omega and Del Vikingo?
2.5.
5 times 5 times 5 times 5.
Ducky ducky quack quack.
Ducky ducky quack quack gives it 3 ducks. Yeah, absolutely. There is some good news on the wrestling landscape. Some people might have heard that Alexa Bliss had a cancer scare, but she has been given the all clear after undergoing surgery, which is really good news. So
that was really quick as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, according to the Skin Cancer Foundation, what she had was the most common form of skin cancer, and of all cancer forms, the most frequent to happen. Luckily, they are slow to grow, making more instances curable with minimal damage when detected early enough. So that's really good news. She had a quick procedure to remove basal cell carcinoma and some squamous cells from an area along the left side of her face. So, the WWE star thanked the American Skin Institute for taking care of her and expressed regret for the time she spent in tanning beds when she was younger, which likely contributed to her diagnosis. So that's going to hurt a lot of wrestlers, isn't it? I know so many indie guys who live under tanning beds.
Yeah, tanning beds and fake spray is the
Does fake spray contribute to it as well? Does it?
I wouldn't be surprised. You don't want to be covering your skin in crap basically on a regular basis, right? I mean, there's a lot of people you can point out for that one, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They said we need silent marking here so we can refer to how white I am again. But I don't do fake tans. I don't do stuff like that. I get why. It's part of the history and the traditions of wrestling, isn't it? This idea that there was a very famous line from I think it was Bobby Eaton, who, God rest his soul, who said that tan fat looks much better than white fat. Hey, so even if you're tanned, you're going to look better, even if you got a terrible body. And it's something that is, if you look at wrestling in general, like a lot of these guys are extremely orange or crazy bronze. Like, surprised Hulk Hogan hasn't succumbed to it. That guy looks like a basketball. So
I've been backstage a few times where you walk into a room where people have been putting on fake spray and you can just see it floating in the sky.
Yeah, you can smell it in the air, can't you? Like, smells like Louis Vuitton in here. Fair play. You can't say that they don't look great with it, but at the same time, you got to look at the long-term health ramifications. So wear sunscreen, ladies and gentlemen, if nothing else. If you're not in the wrestling world, summer will barreling towards summer very slowly but surely in this awful country. Make sure you put some sunscreen on because it's just the fucking sensible thing to do. So who would like to talk about sorry, Karen,
just very quickly on some lighter news on Alexa Bliss. She was unmasked as the Axolotl on the US Masked Singer.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Oh, really?
Very cool. Yeah.
Very good singer.
Yeah, she is. She's really good.
I don't watch The Masked Singer, but I will look it up to see what she sounds like when she's singing. That's an interesting mix because they had Jericho on there as well, didn't they?
They did.
No, he done Dancing with the Stars, didn't he?
Oh, no, he was on Masked Singer as well.
Yeah, but it was blaringly obvious it was Jericho.
Yeah, it sounded like Jericho.
Yeah. It was like it wasn't even trying.
What was he singing? I can't remember.
I just remember it was blatant.
Like, we were victims of the night. It's whatever that song is. It was very funny. Somebody rather brilliantly on TikTok put it over the top of his entrance, and it got like about 1 million views. It's just perfect, absolutely perfect. Fair enough to him. I like that. It was very sweet as well. When she unmasked, she sort of got a bit tearful and said, "I actually have really crippling stage fright," which goes to show that someone powerful and as strong as that on TV,
Yeah.
you need to get over anxieties and things. So if you're in professional wrestling and you have anxiety when it comes to performing and stuff, you're in good company with someone like Alexa Bliss. So don't let it destroy you. Don't let it own you. Go out there and do your thing. You deserve your spot on the card, whoever you might be. Yeah, good stuff. So what are we up to this weekend? Anyone doing anything interesting?
I'm thinking I'll be fairly busy on Saturday. I'm thinking I'll find somewhere to go.
I'm not. I'm going to watch Lincoln play, mate. I'm not. Yeah, I've got too much heat. I'm not welcome in locker room.
Draw.
I'm gonna go watch a 1-1 draw. Can't wait. Yeah. So as you might have seen from behind me, IWE has a show this Saturday. In charge of the entire proceedings would, of course, be our very own master of the blacklist, Frankie T. Are you looking forward to the Date with Destiny this Saturday, Frankie T?
I am indeed. This is a huge one for many reasons, not only just the matches, but for those in attendance as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'm really excited. I know that we've had record sales for this building as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestle Sports and Social Club tickets are still available. We'll leave a QR code on this screen for the entirety of the podcast. If you scan it, or if you go to the description of YouTube, you can buy tickets. It's £7.50 for adults. It's £5 for under 16s. Ludicrous value. And of course, the proceedings will start at a sharp 5:30 first bell. Doors will open at 5 o'clock. And also, good news for everyone involved with Wrestle Plug, because Adam Wessex will be your master of ceremonies. Yeah, baby.
And it is the easiest job I have ever been put on. The card is ridiculous. They have absolutely some of the greatest talent in the entire UK.
And
if you
Cameron
are
Anderson.
not there at that price, you are shooting yourself in both feet. Honestly, it's going to be incredible.
Me and Wessex will be doing a little pre-show, which will be available on IWE's YouTube. So make sure you check that out. That'll be dropping tomorrow. But we'll have a very, very, very quick look at the card, especially for our boy here, Tanvir, because unfortunately, I think Tanvir, will you be joining us? Will you be making the trek to Wessex?
Fortunately not.
Boo!
Kick him off.
Kick him off! Get out! Why will you not be joining us, Tanvir?
He's in Bollywood.
I've got a babysit and there's wedding prep and stuff.
Oh, bring the baby.
That's code for I'm going to be smashing in my new missus. That's what that is. I know what he's up to. I'll be babysitting that puss. You understand me, boy?
Come introduce the missus to Darwin as well.
Yeah, oh my lord! Don't do that. He'll never get her back. Yeah,
no, I'll introduce it to Cam, and you guys, you can tell her how bad I am.
The fuck boys everywhere. Well, very quickly for people who might be thinking of getting involved or haven't bought their tickets yet and are thinking, why should I buy tickets? Why? Because Cameron Anderson's facing Ajax. That's why. That's going to be your main event. Oh, wait. I mean, it'll be on the card, to be fair. It'll be great. That is going to be fantastic. We've got Ebeneeza the Geeza versus the main event, Roger Sears, the Mac Daddy Sears. He's going to be all over that one. I cannot wait. We've also got, of course, the small matter of Leonardo Darwin versus Damien. Should be all right.
It's going to be incredible. Like, should be pretty decent. I don't know like how that's going to turn out, but I just know I am so happy to be stood by the ring for that show. Yeah. It's going to be an absolute slobber knocker.
Yeah, that is going to fucking slap. MOS versus Corey McRae.
Aggression versus agility. Amazing.
Yeah, speaking of which, we've got the IWE Tag Team Championships on the line. Good God Almighty, cherry picking opponents once again. I noticed Frankie T facing Vikingo. Never heard of him.
Well, they're a local tag team on the up. They've worked really hard from what I've seen, so they deserve the opportunity.
There you go. See that? We give opportunities at our promotions. Lovely stuff. Can't wait for that. That'll be good, to be fair. And obviously, Xander is one of the more underrated talents, I think, in the UK.
Got a lot of goth daddy.
Yeah. And to be fair, Frankie T, for all the jokes we make and all the bad blood and stuff, he is a magnificent worker, a great journeyman of professional wrestling, and a wonderful technical wrestler as well to boot. Man's wrestled some of the best in this country and deserves a lot more credit than he fucking gets. Also, pays his talents very well. So, because he's a fucking professional, and I have a lot of time and respect for that at the end of the day. Yeah, no, should be pretty good. There's also some main event with some nerds from Bournemouth or whatever. That should be all right, shouldn't it? And also, well, basically, KM Lane's wrestling a couple of dweebs. Looking forward to that. Go on, KM Lane, smash him up, boy.
I feel like you may have a preference for that one.
I'm not picking sides, but KM Lane absolutely is better than both of you. You both suck my balls.
Oh, KO Lane versus Ollie Blake versus Scott Jones. That again, and there is some bad blood boiling in that match.
There is
not
some
aggression.
Though.
It's going to be an exciting one to go. I have no idea again which way that would go, but I know it's definitely not going to be a quiet, delicate, subtle match. Let's put it that way.
I know which way I go when I see KM Lane, mate. Oh, blimey.
Straight up, right?
Now, that is one sexy mother. Also, the loveliest hug in professional wrestling. Gives the best hug. Absolutely does. Like you'll find out on Saturday. You will all realise that the power of the KM Lane hug.
I mean, you have heavily sold his hug, which is not something you generally talk about. So I am very intrigued.
Because I'm dead inside, Adam Wessex. You should know this by now. Absolutely dead inside, mate. I don't have feelings. All I do is fucking manipulate people. I'm a terrible human being. You should know this by now. I am paying attention.
You're just a shell filled with hate.
Yeah, that's literally it.
He just sadly jerks off.
Yeah, just be having a cry wank in the corner at the announce table. Adam Wessex just looks at me like with disgust and disdain.
No. I mean, it's okay. It's always good to offer your own lubricant. You know,
absolutely. Yeah. Hey, you need a top up with your Baileys and cream, honey.
I'm sure there's plenty of baby oil at wrestling shows.
There's also going to be wrestling at the show, apparently. Yeah, no, it should be an absolute banger. Have I missed anything? I'm going to get in trouble here if I've missed a match. I don't think so. I think I've got all of them.
6 matches.
6 matches, yeah. No, we've got them all. Yeah, unfortunately, there will be no women's title because, rather disappointingly, but obviously we understand Mia Cortez and Alfie, unfortunately, have prior engagements and personal matters to deal with. But we can assure you that Mia Cortez will be in the house at a later date to defend the IWE Women's Championship. Obviously, one of our best friends in the industry. We all love Mia very much, so we wish her well. So yeah, it's going to be great. And like I said, £7.50 for adults. And also you can buy a family of 4, a ticket for a family of 4 if you feel like bringing your sprogs to the house. And there's also going to be quite a few, it's going to be a star-studded lineup in the crowd. Never mind anything else, isn't it? We've got loads of our friends popping up. We've got people from different promotions coming in to have a look. It's a good time to be a part of IWE.
When you have a card of that quality, everyone wants to see it. If you're in the business, you want to see it. If you're a fan, you want to see it. You know, and not only that, I think another important thing to say is you've got great parking, you've got accessibility, and if you do have a carer, the carer comes along for free. You know, it's really open for everyone. It's going to be a great show.
Open bar as well, which is good. Hopefully the bar will be open this time. I don't remember.
Be careful saying open bar, or it could go completely.
Yeah, that's true. Otherwise, everyone will be like, "Where's my free alcohol, pal?" It's an open bar if you're me, because you need to drink. I need to drink all my feelings away. It's sorry, I'm dead inside. It's true.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get Nix drunk and take him home, he's available.
Yeah, here I am for men and women. Come on, baby. KM Lane. My lord, what a specimen, those abs, honestly. It should be worth pointing out there's an individual on this roster who has very literally just announced that he will be retiring at the end of this year. That is unfortunately, it's heartbreaking to say it. WrestlePlug's own Ebeneeza the Geeza will be calling it a day at the end of 2023. So I thought we'd take a bit of time to celebrate how fucking amazing this man is. Frankie T, me and you have worked with Ebeneeza probably more than most people have. Your overriding thoughts and feelings that Ebeneeza will be hanging up his boots at the end of this year.
I mean, it is sad. He's one of the most genuinely nice, humble guys you could ever meet. Even though he does come across a bit of a cocky arsehole in the ring, but
wait,
hey,
what?
we love it. He's the one thing I'm going to remember about him as a wrestler is him getting to get the crowd to chant sausage.
Yeah, he can get anything over. Like, honestly, one of the most charismatic, entertaining, and kind people in this business. A lot of people come and go. You make a lot of friends that shit can you or you fall out with for whatever reason, and he's always a constant. He's always there, and he's always fucking helping people out. Doesn't mind, he's always been giving back to our business. That's something that I feel like a lot of people don't do, and he's always giving back. He's always working people, and he's also brave enough to step in there where other people wouldn't, as we're going to see obviously next week as well. He's a man who stands by his morals, and I really appreciate that, because a lot of people flip and fly and jump from one side to the other, and he never does that. And his legacy for me is just pure, unadulterated entertainment. One of the funniest, the most entertaining people in the history of our
Absolutely
business.
effortlessly funny as well.
Yeah,
You can tell when people are trying to be funny. He's just the first time that he worked for us in ACW, he made me corpse the entire match. I had to literally hide in a corner because I couldn't watch the show.
Amazing.
So funny.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
nice.
And again, what you said, so much charisma, man. He literally drips it. Like his little promo videos he did while at work as well that always come up. It's going to be a real shame. I hope he still stays affiliated with wrestling in some way, shape, or form, and I'm sure we'll still see him on Wrestle Plug. But yeah, absolute loss to the wrestling community.
Yeah, he's reassessing his life, and he's really into his golf now. He's joined a golf club, which I'm really pleased with. It's not like he's sad about leaving or anything. He's just moving on to different ventures. The Diamond podcast, the Diamond Conversation podcast, is dropping soon, which is going to be run by him. That is going to be. You think Wrestle Plug's unfiltered? You wait for that, Lord Almighty. He's already tried to slate me and Darwin as a triple threat for a podcast. Like it's yeah, like. By the way, that's going to be money. I cannot wait for that.
What do you get after Triple X rated?
I'm
not sure the higher tier.
After that, you get an implosion of the world. Like I don't think the world can handle that much fucking honesty on one podcast. You think I've got heat now? Wait until that. My God, that is going to be something else. Very excited for him. Tanvir, you look very solemn. You look very sad to be losing Ebeneeza. Obviously, you've got some great memories of him derailing podcasts in the past. We all remember the cancelled episode, don't we?
Unreally, arguably the most fun, but also the hardest I've laughed at a podcast. And just seeing Cam's face, like, please, we can't release this. I'm like almost looking at you, Nix. I'm like begging, like, please.
Cam's like, please don't cancel my career before it even
it was one of the, and some of the memes that Ebeneeza sends me are some of my favorites because of how dark they are. Of like, he sent me a George in the Jungle one, and it was just so bad. It was so bad.
He doesn't give a fuck. You can't cancel.
You
can't cancel somebody who is uncancelable. He won't be cancelled. Like it's just hilarious. I love him dearly. I love how honest he is. There's not enough of that in wrestling. There's not enough truth. There's not enough honesty, and he's somebody who brings that in spades. So he's going to be massively lost, and it's very selfish of me, but I do want to tag up with him at some point before he calls it a day this year, because that's something that we've always wanted to do. So hopefully that'll be something that can come to fruition before he does call it a day. Just for anyone who's interested, I'll be in Derby this Sunday as well. I don't get a fucking break. Thanks, Andy, you arsehole. We're going to be at Burgers and Body Slams, which will be presented by House of Pain this Sunday in Derby. Show starts at 12 sodding o'clock, which means I've got to be up at 6:30 the day after. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, really excited about that. Thank you so much to Spinebuster Media, who I'm going to be collaborating with, one of the best videography teams in the business, and very flattered that they would ask me to join that team and help out with them. And honestly, so excited I don't have to edit a show for once afterwards. Oh yeah, honestly, I can have a nice. I can have the best wank of my life after that show. It's going to be phenomenal.
I heard they sold out as well, so it should be a really good night.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute slapper an event. It's at Annie's Burger Shack in Derby, and there's going to be like all kinds of food going on, and it's very, very cool. It's like a full-on like food festival with wrestling right in the middle of it. And the House of Pain roster, what an amazing group of talents. I'm so excited because I genuinely haven't worked with any of these people, and there's some of the new fantastic talents that are coming through on the UK scene. It's great to see it thriving. It's great to see more schools and more shows. A big shout out to No Mercy Wrestling as well, who I've collaborated with recently in Wales. They're doing some amazing things with our boy James Ellis at the head of it. He's one of the champions on that company. Obviously, Adam Wessex will remember James Ellis, who made an appearance at ACW. Magnificent talent. I worked with him at the last Wrestling Society show in Swindon as well. James Ellis is a magnificent talent.
He massively impressed me. Good as gold. He absolutely won over the fans as well. First time he was there, and I mean, I say won over. It's not often you get heels selling more shirts and pictures at the end than the faces did. But they hated him, but they loved to hate him. I'd love to see him. I'm sure he works face as well, but yeah, very, very impressive.
Yeah, James Ellis is one of those guys. Remember the name, because in about 2 or 3 years' time, when he's doing everything from Progress to Rev Pro, everyone will then realise just how special he is. So get on board nice and early and join that bandwagon of support. Wonderful guy as well. Deserves all the love in the world. Super professional, super kind backstage. A real pleasure to work with. A real gentleman. But yeah, Ebeneeza, have a great time, mate, whatever you do. And obviously, don't forget to come back on the podcast and upset loads of promoters just like I do, because it's good fun when we're upsetting all those dinosaurs, isn't it? Oh, dear.
Well, that's it. You know, that's what it was like when he did a Promoters to Worry. Now he's completely off the chain.
Yeah, now he can say what the fuck he likes. He's like, how are you going to cancel him? Oh, no, he's already left. He's going to be gnarly. Yeah, Tanvir's going to be the first guest on a Diamond Conversation talking about Bollywood, aren't you?
That'd be fun.
That would.
Yeah.
So, anything you guys want to talk about?
Can't think of anything in particular.
It's been a quiet week. WrestleMania's coming up, isn't it? In a week and a half.
Oh shit, it is. Oh, I don't like the tag matches that they've got up of like the 4 ways.
The showcase match where they're just like, quick, cram as many wrestlers in as possible.
Yeah, it's like, if you're gonna do that, just bring back the Andre Memorial Battle Royal or something like that, because it's just like we don't really need a fatal 4-way tag match because nobody's really gonna care about that.
Ricochet and Braun Strowman as a tag team. Anyone interested in that? I know if Carl Wilkinson was here, he'd have a fucking seizure.
If it's like Braun Strowman just yeeting Ricochet, then I'm cool with that.
Or lawn darting him. That would be cool. Yeah, I can't help but feel that Chad Gable and Otis are just so woefully underutilized. They're one of my favorite things in WWE right now.
I fucking love Otis.
He's joined the Maximum Male Models, hasn't he? He was getting a manicure, wasn't he? And they were like saying, "Don't ruin your fingers" during the match. It's very funny, very entertaining, actually. But I've got to say, I watched Raw this week. I don't think it was very good at all. I'm actually really disappointed with the lack of build towards WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley's doing great things, and apparently the big rumor is that she's going to main event night 1 against Charlotte Flair. We think that's the right choice for the first night main event.
I don't know. Absolutely. I still want her to take the Intercontinental Championship, but yeah, we'll go with that.
I would love to. Rhea Ripley is good enough to be beating all the men, I reckon. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley v Gunther.
I want Rhea Ripley versus Gunther. That's the match I want to watch.
Fuck me.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'll have some of that. I mean, it's good. It's good to got an opponent for WrestleMania.
Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, Sheamus. Yeah, triple threat.
Big meaty horse fight.
Oh yeah, that's the main event that ends all main events. That should be main event in night 2. I don't care about Roman and Cody anymore. I want that. That is meaty men slapping meat in the meat house steak. Oh yeah, baby.
I think Sheamus is finally going to win the Intercontinental belt, but you've pinned Drew.
Is that why Drew's in there? So the Gunther can be protected, do you think? It's quite smart business.
I think so.
Yeah. That's going to be good. I'm looking forward to that. And obviously, a lot of us are going to be working over that weekend and building into it as well. Obviously, we've got BCD Breakout on next Friday. I'm going to be the MC, which is no doubt why Adam Wessex looks so bloody miserable right now. I took your job, pal.
I can't manage an MC. I needed to get someone for the cheap seats.
Well, I can do videography and MC, so what's your excuse?
It's the eyeliner that gets in the way.
That is true. That is true. Yeah.
Although
the minister over there.
For those who are able to come to the ACW show, it has sadly been cancelled due to injuries. But I believe the plan is all of us are going to go off and watch WrestleMania instead. So that should still be fun.
That'll be a laugh, to be fair. Yeah, and then obviously April 1st, I'll be at Rumble for the big 20-man Royal Rumble special they're doing in Medway. I think there's only about 20 tickets left. It's going to be a 400 sellout for that for Gillingham, which is going to be spectacular. A lot of great talents in that Rumble as well. Tate Mayfair's, the Bryant brothers, Jordan Breaks, who obviously trains our boy Cameron Anderson. So that's very exciting stuff. The Masked Skulls will be back. Some of the Catch-22 boys as well. They're also bringing in some new debutants as well, which is really exciting because Rumble has had that kind of, very close circle of wrestlers that they rely on. So it's nice to see new people getting an opportunity. And then the following day, April 2nd, I'll be in Swindon for a Wrestling Society as well, which is going to be an absolute banger. Big wavy Roy Johnson making his Wrestling Society debut.
Is the Rumble show over WrestleMania weekend?
It is. It's actually a lunchtime start on April the
1st. Where is Rumble? Because
Rumble is predominantly based in Kent. They'll be doing Medway, which is a part of Gillingham. It's like a little offset in Gillingham.
Okay.
So quite easy to get to by train for anyone who lives in London, by the way. So if you do fancy a day out, because obviously as well, where it's an early start, you can get home with plenty of time as well.
because that means
Well, that's if there's no
Tate's.
train strikes.
Well, yeah,
That's true.
That's very true.
That means Tate's doing the Rumble show, and then he's I think going to Leeds to do the hosting for the Hooked on Wrestling WrestleMania viewing party for night one.
That's crazy, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the best in the world for a reason. You know, that's tells you everything you need to know about it. But a lot of great wrestling. You've got no excuse if you want to, you know, if you're a little bit disenchanted with mainstream wrestling or you want to see something a little bit different, there's so much British wrestling and all of it is super affordable as well. I appreciate train strikes can get in the way, but if you're even remotely local to any of these shows, definitely check them out. It's disappointing ACW's been cancelled. Got a lot of love for the roster there. Very disappointing for some of the guys, you know, like Rusty and Thrash Arts and things like that. But no doubt they'll be bouncing back very soon.
I'm sure we'll be rebooking it straight away. It's entirely because of injuries.
It's just unfortunate, isn't it? When all your main stars, it's bad luck. You know, wrestling is part of wrestling. Injuries happen, I'm afraid. These guys, you know, really train hard and put their bodies on the line every week. And guys like Brandon Lee and Scott Jones and Danny Disorder work astonishingly hard. So unfortunately, it does happen from time to time in our business. But that doesn't mean that ACW will be going anywhere anytime soon.
And if you still want to see wrestling, come on out and find us in whatever pub we find showing WrestleMania. We'll still be there.
Not imagine the carnage of that evening. Watching you lot getting drunk, watching Mania. Jesus,
oh God!
Lord. I'm kind of glad I'm working, so I've got an excuse not to go.
It's going to be exciting.
Are you going to have a WrestleMania drinking game going on?
Well, there's already, and we've only been talking about it this afternoon because we already got cancelled recently. There's already a talk about doing power bombs and power slams with shots. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh God!
If someone doesn't get the old pop-up power bomb on Danny Disorder's bar, I'll be really disappointed.
One of Danny Disorder's birthdays, he power slammed Brandon into a birthday present to open it. So
that's where the money's at. Like that shit. That's your cinematic. Never mind Undertaker versus AJ Styles. Give me that and the Four Horsemen. That's what we want. That's pure money. That is. Right. Time for some any other business. Anything you boys want to talk about that's not wrestling related?
All good from me for a change.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
You got nothing.
You got nothing. Frankie's not even hyping up his own show.
Oh, you said that's not wrestling.
Well, I can obviously give you a pass when it comes to your own promotion.
International Independent Wankers Elite.
Where's my pen and paper? That's gold.
1 moment, please.
You said
I smell a BCD offshoot going here.
You said it's not wrestling, so I was like, what's another W word that works?
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Tanvir, how is it to be in a relationship? You happy, mate? You feeling good?
It's going good. I'm finding happy. I was just thinking of like alternative names for BCD too, because I don't know what it stands for. So I immediately thought of bipolar disorder.
Bipolar disorder?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, we probably can't get much more heat, so you may as well throw it out there. Look at Wessex, like playing the diplomat over there. He's like, not saying anything. I'm a politician. I don't want to get more heat.
He's in the Cameron Anderson position.
I don't know what you're talking
about. Playing the role of Cameron Anderson this week is Adam Wessex.
I'm very excited to have Cameron Anderson, and I'm very excited to have Ajax wrestling locally. It'd be really nice to see them.
I love for Ebeneeza again. See that? He just completely buried the guy. Didn't even mention him. Yeah, fuck him. He's retiring anyway. Sod him. Adam Wessex.
I've seen him before. It's not his debut down in Bournemouth for us. He's done loads of our shows. He's been fucking astounding every single time.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for Ajax and Cam. I think it's a great chance for them and a good opportunity to work on the mainland. They deserve that. Cameron Anderson as well. I just feel like he's doing it slowly and he's doing it very sort of professionally, but eventually I feel like he's going to have a breakthrough moment. I feel like this year we could really see him grow into the wrestler that we all know he's going to be eventually. And the kid's still 21 years old. He's got his entire life ahead of him. So,
and he's training some size as well.
He is. He's getting bulky, and he's putting in the work. He's training 5 or 6 times a week. He's also training with some of the, he's being trained by David Francisco and the Bryant brothers and Connor Mills, like the best of the best. Michael Oku, he's training with him. And Jordan Breaks is obviously ridiculous, one of the best technical wrestlers in Europe. So, he's going to be pretty special, to be fair. And obviously, he's also going to be at CWP for his 50 Shades of Grey reunion. So that should be quite good as well. Very subtle smile there from Adam Wessex. Just the tiniest little thing. He's like, don't say anything. I don't want to get cancelled. He really didn't want to be on this podcast, did you? You really didn't.
I'm more than happy to be on this podcast, but I definitely have
mate,
places where I
cheer
can
up.
keep my mouth shut.
I'm just
Don't
worried
don't
when Adam
take your
Wessex
balls
is
out your wife's
unhappy.
purse.
Hey?
Everyone spoke. I missed what that was.
I said, go and take your balls out your wife's purse.
She doesn't have a purse.
No. She's got a satchel, pal, for those big
Yeah,
old
exactly.
grapefruits.
Yeah, they're big. They don't get to be used up.
Satchel's nickname for her pussy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, damn. Tanvir
Well,
throwing
you've got 3
shade at
kids.
people's wives.
It's because Wessex cock's so big it stretches it out.
I'm glad
Speaking
you
of
do know
pussy-
me after all. They call it the
Fucking-
Wessex way. That's what I'm going
God,
to tell
Lord,
you.
can you imagine Ajax and Wessex in the locker room together? That's going to intimidate some boy. Everyone else is going to have their trousers firmly on for that, isn't
It's
they?
like a remix of dueling banjos.
I was going to say, they say in
They're-
Ghostbusters, don't cross the streams. Like,
Their
Jesus, Lord
cocks are going to
almighty.
be so big they're going to accidentally dock each other.
Oh, Jesus, man.
Speaking of pussy,
Oh, God.
Oh,
who's seen the Charles Crawley's promo?
oh my God.
Yeah.
I'll put it in a Wrestle Plug group chat where he's going down on Alexis Falcon and then vice versa. Yeah. Yeah, pretty intense. Talking about Bussy at the Big
Bussy.
Effie's Big Gay Brunch, which is taking place at TNT. That is going to be a riot. Yeah, he's pushing the boat out, isn't he? He's still no Leonardo Darwin, though, is he? Come on. Are you going to top the promo on the toilet?
Nah,
Yeah,
I don't
see.
know.
That's where the real money's at. That and obviously Wessex being recorded coming out of the toilets at ACW for some reason.
G Money with the door with the door.
I was
cam
down the
pretty
stairs.
funny.
How dare you?
Sure you were. I mean, to be honest, your dick is down the stairs, whichever room you're in, mate. The fucking size of it. Look at that.
Adam's cock is
Under
Jormungandr.
professional wrestling.
Yeah, I do like a Viking gimmick now and then.
Yeah, that's fair. That is
Where's
absolutely.
Drake Winter?
Hey.
So what happened to Drake Winter?
Oh Jesus, yeah, I remember that guy.
He became Drake Summer.
That is such a dad joke. That is so terrible. I love it. Dear oh dear. Do you know what? I think we'll leave it there. I think we've reached the dregs of society when it comes to professional wrestling. But yeah, going to be a lot of wrestling this weekend. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if you can make it to Wessex, come and watch IWE's Date with Destiny. It's going to be an absolute fucking
Calm
banger.
down.
Yeah, Adam Wessex is going to be the videographer now, so it should be quite good stuff.
Come up.
Frankie,
Job swap day.
Frankie,
Yeah.
who is Destiny and why do I have a date with her?
Leave my mother out of this.
Your mum called Destiny. Is your mum like? Is that her stripper name? Is it Destiny?
No, that's my dad's.
Oh, okay, cool. I bet he's got a meaty hog.
He'd have to produce me, wouldn't he?
Just gonna get my heat cannon out and just start spraying it all over the place at this point. Honestly, Damien versus Leonardo Darwin, ladies and gentlemen, you have to see it. It's fucking £7.50 as an adult to see that. Come on, that's worth 3 times the amount. Jeez, I paid 75 quid to see that. That is going to absolutely slap. But I'll tell you what, we'll leave it there because ultimately people look tired, they look miserable, and Adam Wessex especially is scared of the heat cannon. Look at him, he fears the heat. He fears it, the big old pussy hole. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. My love, as always, to Tanvir, to Frankie T, and to Adam Wessex for joining me on the State of Wrestling Address. We'll catch you very soon for some more content from the Wrestle Plug. Tanvir's Misses and the Spocker. Oh, yeah. Oh, get up there. Yeah, live long and prosper, hun.